Command Education works with a lot of different types of students. We work with kids who are trying to get into some of the hardest colleges to get into in this country, but we also work with a lot of kids who are just struggling to find their way through high school. One of the students that comes to mind when I start thinking about that is James, who I got towards the end of his sophomore year. He was at a New York City public school, super competitive, and had taken a significant confidence hit over the course of his sophomore year and had seen his grades drop pretty significantly. So when he came to me, he was really struggling. In our first few sessions, he expressed that he had been distancing himself from a lot of the extracurriculars that had previously brought him a lot of joy and that had gotten him engaged in his community. We really started out with advancing his executive functioning skills. We worked on something called the Pomodoro method, which is a time management technique. We worked to build schedules and trackers and timelines. Every week we would meet and go over his upcoming assignments so that he would have a sense of what was coming up in the week ahead. We focused on making it so that he wasn't going to be missing deadlines or feeling like he had to do everything in the last minute right before an assignment was due. Towards the beginning of his junior year, I suggested that he join a weekend rec league, and when he expressed to me that a lot of the courts that they were playing on were in a state of disrepair, that they had cracked pavement and poorly drawn lines, I suggested he organize his basketball league and start to work together to improve these courts. He worked with a group of people who were older than him, who were members of the community, and he brought them together to start devoting their time and energy to repaving basketball courts, repainting lines, reattaching nets to the hoops. In the spring of his junior year, we also really started to focus on the SAT. He ended up with a 1280, so going into that summer, we were thinking about college tours, and I suggested he tour Boston. Lots of colleges in the area fit his interest and his profile. Northeastern, Boston University, Boston College. And when he went, he really loved Boston College. He connected with the small class sizes, the research opportunities, the close relationships with the faculty. And I also think the basketball facilities played a role in it for him too. So when we were going into the fall of his junior year, we decided that Boston College would be a great place for him to apply early decision. We put together an application that focused a lot on his community engagement and involvement, his journey getting re-engaged and re-involved in school and improving his academics, and his interests in psychology and human development. I'm happy to say he is now at Boston College and is finishing up the last semester of his freshman year.